Whew, man, I hope it does. I hope it does. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Locker Room Banter podcast show.
Well, the ladies are always welcome.
Always welcome. We are at episode 47. 47. Man, we making moves over here. Sheesh.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Gotcha,
sir.
gotcha. But on episode 47, we can't do it alone. The last couple episodes we were by ourselves, but we couldn't find Ja Rule, couldn't find Ja to help answer some of these questions we
What do
had.
Ja Rule have to say in
But
a
we do
time
got a
like
couple very
this?
special guests that I will let self introduce. Let's start with my boy Dallas.
What's up? Old Dally Dow, OL Dot, Dally Dow on IG.
Okay. Welcome back, Dallas. Dallas is a regular. That's why he gave us such a short intro because he's been here many times and he'll be here many more times. Teddy's a kind of a regular too, but Teddy, go ahead, man.
Our political guru.
Hey, hey, I appreciate you guys inviting me on. My name is Teddy Woolley Gabriel, that guy Teddy. I am also the author of the children's book Young
Preach it.
King,
Preach it.
Yes, sir.
and the soon to be coming out Young King, Young Queen.
Okay.
Just kind of a reversion for the young girls. Definitely check your boy out, that guy Teddy,
All right, that
on
guy
That's good.
Teddy.
Instagram.
That's
Yes,
good
sir.
shit.
Yes, sir.
Shit, me. I mean, you can find your boy on Instagram at AnwarW underscore 357. That's ANWARW underscore 357 Watts.
And you already know who it is, man. This your boy Watts coming to you live and direct from the studio here in ATL, Georgia. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Watts number 4. That is WATTS number 4 on both Instagram and Twitter, man, too.
That part, yeah, man. We got a lot to talk about, guys. I know
A
y'all are hip
lot.
right now. Right now, unfortunately, we got to lead off with some bullshit, some bad stuff, some shit that make us get to the mic ASAP. Like we already had plans to podcast, but stuff is literally happening right now in the background by the hour that we need to
About
address.
a minute.
By the minute, you know what I'm saying, that we have to address, man. So I guess we got to get right to it, man. Damn. The most recent of things has to be the unfortunate shooting of another yet unarmed black man
Another day, another dollar.
by the police. Fortunately, he survived it, but I don't know how he did it. This young gentleman, unfortunately, Mr. Jacob Blake, took 7 rounds of bullets from the police, close range to the back. It doesn't get worse than that, guys. It really doesn't. Like, I mean, we've seen him get shot. We've seen the fight back. We've seen so many scenarios. But come on, man. Close range. This man's back is turned. He's in front of his children, and he was shot 7 times
With the kids, bro.
with the children in the car to witness it. His wife or the woman of his life there to witness it. And I know it's fresh, so we don't know what is to happen to these police just yet. But to watch it, everyone's seen it. The world has seen it, and everyone's devastated. I mean, it's kind of like it's hard to put into words what we're feeling because there's no real word to describe the emotion outside of rage. And we're gonna get everybody's take on it, but the follow up to that, I guess, is what's going on because of that. Mind you,
Well, let's get to that later. I
okay.
know that's what you're probably about to get to about the NBA and all that stuff. Let's get
Mhm.
to that for later. But let's just talk about how we feeling right now. How about that?
Well, let's let the guest speak first. Dallas, I mean, I want you just to go ahead and tell us. I mean, this is fresh for everybody. What's on your mind? How do you feel right now with everything going on?
Um, it's the same thing. So, to say that I have a different feeling than what I've had since Trayvon, is it's the same thing.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I'm just not hearing from you that he survived because I just hate seeing that stuff like broadcast. When
Hmm.
I didn't even watch the full video. I don't watch full videos
Yeah.
of these
Yeah,
things.
me too.
I
Be honest
saw
with
him.
you.
I saw him walk around
Hmm.
the car, and you could just tell, just like every other video, like when they start yelling, when them
Yep.
cops start yelling, like, hey, like they getting ready to fire off. So
Yeah.
I don't even. I mean, I don't watch it.
I got you.
So it's the. I've been mad.
I feel you.
Yeah. And I think you hit a point that I kind of felt like same shit since Trayvon shit, same shit
Hmm.
since fucking back in the day when your grandma was out or your
Hmm.
grandpa was down the street or something like that. Like, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's the shit, man. Teddy, man, how you feeling, bro?
Uh, you know what, bro? It's hard to say this, but I've become numb to it now,
I
and
That's,
know.
it's
that's the
sad.
bad part.
Hmm.
I've gotten so used to it that when I hear it occurring, I'm not even looking at the story anymore. And I watch the videos and stuff like that. I definitely do watch them just because I'm always trying to look at the political angle, what angle is the officer going to take, and things of that nature. So now my whole mindset has kind of evolved from seeing the video and saying, "Damn, that's fucked up," which it is. But then I'm looking at, okay, what is the police response? What is the local officials' responses? How are they approaching it? So, like in this case, and I know we're going to get into this here shortly, but the fact that the police officers are going in straight protective mode and they're making sure that that officer's house is protected, that
Hmm.
they're able to get him out of town. Um, they understand that they may need to move him before some type of court date or whatever the case may be. That just lets me know that they're not adjusting to
Mm-hmm.
the ongoing violence against our community.
Yeah.
What they're doing is handling the ongoing media push instead of, or handling the backlash from the media. So their approach and how they take care of that person is based off of the media streams or whatever they're portraying with Black Lives Matter or whatever that is in regards to protesting and the violence that has been rumored around, that's been pushed by certain media outlets and stuff like that. They're really just focusing on image.
Mm.
Don't make sure that they get any camera views. So I hate to take up so much time on that, but now it's just I can't even give you a feeling. It's more than
Yeah.
I'm numb. I'm just like, what's the
Yeah.
response?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
That's
What's
a fact.
different? What do you got to say about this?
That's a fact, though. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
now you said a lot. I appreciate you taking that time because you gave us another thought process behind it. Like a lot of us react immediately off the first emotion that comes, but we don't think about the follow up. You know what I mean? And what they're thinking. Like, well, now you're in their head a little bit. Okay, where do they go next with this? We know what we do next. The same shit. Complain, complain, complain. We hit the streets, whatever it is. And unfortunately, a lot of times we forget it, and the next one happens, and then we're back on that one. So you're thinking into their end of it, where their next move is, and that's a deeper aspect because you just let us know that okay, yeah, they forget about it in a sense too, but they go into protect themselves mode. Like, okay, guys, we got another one, so let's just take care of this one and let's just throw some Corona ads out there. You know what I mean? Distract, 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 and they'll get past this one as well. But
Yeah.
I guess
Dallas,
A
you had something
yeah,
else you want to say?
small, not even to say like a takeaway, but like
yeah,
something I do see as far as like real small change. Like when they would do this like a while ago, the cops was just they would just go home.
mm,
Like we would be mad,
mm-hmm,
they would go home and there would be nothing done. Now because we're seeing small things change like within ourselves. Now they got to protect these cops
mm-hmm,
when these things happen. Okay, like let's go to his house and because I feel like they fear something
They
just like
pushing
a
us over the
little
edge.
bit,
mm-hmm,
They pushing it
mm-hmm.
over the edge.
a little bit. So
Yeah,
where I'm at now is okay. Now they want to protect these cops, so they send security for them. Okay, so the next step for me, because I'm on at this point, I'm on some completely different shit that ain't even PC on how to deal with this situation.
mm-hmm.
Um, the next step for me is like how we get around that security and get
I understand.
to the cop that did what they did.
I
Oh,
understand.
by any means
I feel you.
necessary,
Well,
ass nigga.
shit.
And
Well,
you obviously passed the first page.
that part. Well, I mean, Watts. I guess your take from it.
To be honest with you, man, I'm torn in between. I'm in between Teddy's opinion about being numb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point like with Dallas, like it's the same story, just a
Yeah,
different day from like Emmett till up till now. The
yeah.
reason why I chose the songs that we kind of chose because we played Sam Cooke, which is an old school song,
Mm-hmm.
mixed it in with some little bit of Rick Ross,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of tells the same story,
Yep.
as well as DMX bringing it to a new date. Like
Yeah.
this, people been making songs about this for forever, and it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a numb feeling to me. But I do want to commend, and I'm about to play this clip real quick. Of Doc Rivers, he kind of summed up kind of how I'm feeling a little bit, even though I'm not a coach, but he kind of summed it up very well for me. It's it's amazing why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back. And it's really so sad. Like I should just be a coach. And it's so often reminded of my color. You know, it's just really sad. We got to do better. But we got to demand better. Like it's funny. We protest and they send riot guards, right? They send people in riot outfits. They go to Michigan with guns
and they're spitting on cops, and nothing happens. The training has to change in the police force. The unions have to be taken down in the police force. My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else. I didn't want to talk about it before the game because it's so hard. Like, to just keep watching it. That video, if you watch that video, you don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear? We're the ones that need to be scared. We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? It's just ridiculous. And it just it keeps going. There's no charges. Breonna Taylor, no charges, nothing. All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution.
And just to kind of piggyback off that, man, all we asking is just to live up to the Constitution. Michael Wilbarn on one of the partner interruption earlier I was watching, he kind of made a good point of how I'm feeling as well. Like what's the next step? What's the goal? Like the goal for us is just to stop killing us now.
That's it. Yeah.
Like just to stop killing us, and y'all can't even do that for a month, a day, or two, a week. Because of 2-3 weeks later, we just want y'all to stop killing us.
That's it.
Then ultimately, we could get to just protect us, like y'all protect us. Ultimately, the goal is we want y'all to feel that Black Lives Matter. Once Black Lives Matter, then y'all will understand that all lives matter. All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. It's just I'm tired of just hearing the same thing every single day. Like, it's draining. Like, literally, a weight on my chest.
Yeah.
Like, shit just tiring, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Doc Rivers, Coach Rivers, he spoke big facts, man. Like, I get tired of, and it's not to step on anybody else's plight, but like I'm tired of seeing like hashtag arrest these. I feel like we asking the cops to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Matter of fact, we
For
asking the
about a
same
year
cops.
now.
You know what I'm saying? So and nothing has happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
To Dallas' point, how do you get around that? What's next? What can we do next? That's because it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
It's hard for me as a man to keep asking you to do something, and I'm not getting anything in return.
Of course.
yeah,
That's in
people
life.
asking me to bring a child in the world, man.
Right.
The reason I don't have any kids yet,
Yeah.
man, because this world is fucking crazy.
This world's
man. Me and Donna
crazy.
sit and talk about this shit every night.
Yeah, man.
Dog,
Every
all the
night,
time.
bro.
Two, man, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I mean, I hate to sound, typical. I'm right there between every last one of y'all. I mean, I'm not numb. I can't even lie and say I'm numb because I feel something. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see it, there's another lump in my throat that I'm forcing back. You know what I'm saying? So every time I see one of these, it's not me being numb. It's me tucking away another piece of anger that's going to come out at some point. And that's what everybody is going through right now. Everyone knows how it is as a man to fight back tears because feel like as a man you don't want to cry. Not that you shouldn't, but you don't want to cry. You don't want to feel too much or show too much emotion. But that emotion doesn't leave. All you do is put it away somewhere. And that place that we all put it away, it's going to come to surface. So imagine, what happens when we all let all that emotion out towards the people that are forcing us to tuck this emotion away. It's deep. I mean, it's causing a lot of us mental health issues currently. The others are doing the riots and whatnot, and that's where their anger is going. But when we all say, you know what, we know what we need to do, because honestly, to answer that question, we know what we need to do. But black people have some of the most patience. I mean, we've dealt with this for so long. We all know what it is. We're just trying to avoid that at all costs. It doesn't need to be said. We know what it is. It's a fucking race war. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact,
But
I don't know if you've seen it, but Cat Williams did
I seen
a
it. I
stand
seen
up.
it. And he nailed that shit.
And it wasn't necessarily a stand up. It's similar to how Dave Chappelle just did like a political commentary. and that shit hit the dead on the head. Like
Mhm.
black people, we don't have hate in our heart.
No.
We don't. We
That's what they
don't.
expect to happen. They expect
Yeah.
us to just go jump back at them and do what we did in the '60s and '70s and just start fighting back. But we're better than that. Like he said, we're better than that. We're gonna do what we do, which is survive it. We're gonna show you kindness and love.
Yeah.
That's how we
So
fight
I
back.
wanted to bring my 2 cents into this.
You
So
got it.
when I say I'm numb to it, I guess I mean what I say because I mean I'm just used to it now.
Hmm.
But one thing that also I wanted to bring into this discussion and something that we need to look into is, all right, how do we make it so this doesn't occur again? A lot of the issues with the police department and the police force that I like to kind of highlight is the fact that they're also underpaid, and then they're underpaid, and then on top of that, they're uneducated because the requirements for becoming a law enforcement officer is very low.
We know.
And one of the things that I always want to bring into this conversation, it may not be very popular, is that we got to make this job kind of something that people would want to do
Hmm.
and embrace it. Right now, they're getting like the bottom of the barrel of people becoming law enforcement officers. That's why you're hearing about these rookies and these racist people getting through the cracks because their process to select these officers and people to become officers is very minimal. We need
Yeah.
to kind of change that. We need to change that for the teachers as well.
Let me
But
let me
make it a job that you want to become, like a
let me
doctor or something like that.
let me piggyback off that
Um,
real quick, Teddy, and that's kind of the reason why I really wasn't 100% on board with the defund the police portion. Um,
yeah, I'm the same way.
I understand why people are saying defund the police. I get it, but at the same time, we kind of need to do what Teddy's suggesting for teachers, as we need to do for the police,
Reform.
is reform it and also make it worth it. So if we're not going to defund it, let's up the requirement level in order to become a police officer. So your
Absolutely.
education level, your GPA level, or whatever. I don't know the ins and out of what
Hmm.
requirements need to, but it needs to be harder than just okay. Because I know good cops. Shit, one of my best
Yeah.
friends just passed the academy to be a cop. Chad, shout out to Chad. And you know what I mean.
Hey.
So I mean, I know good cops. I know good cops. I grew up with good cops. Dallas, we had good cops that was with us in high school. Like
Hmm.
they looked out for us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we need to make it harder for those low lives who just want to get the job so they could kill black people.
Yeah.
Really,
But that all goes back
harder.
That,
into what we're trying to do, which is, of course, the reform. I mean, it sounds like a broad word, but the reform, you got to remember, and we always go back to this. What the hell were the cops' original, what were they even created for? We all know what they were created for. It was to capture slaves and bring them in. They're using the same fucking procedures that they've been using for all these years to train. So what do you think is going to happen? It's the same idea. You know what I'm saying? Go after us the same way, wrangle us up. The same fucking idea. So you have to reform, you have to re-educate, and you have to retrain in different ways. And as far as like you all said, to make it worth it, you got to remember, it's a job, which means it's an option. You chose to be a police officer, so I won't give all that fucking credit to them and say, okay, well, let's remember they're underpaid. Let's remember, no, no, no. I'm underpaid where I'm at, and if I want more money, I go somewhere else. It's that fucking simple too. So, no, you all need to know your position. Yes, you're trained to do certain things, but some of y'all come in there so-called to change things and fix things, but they're the bad ones that come in there to live that life of a cop and to abuse that authority, and that's the ones that we're seeing. Unfortunately, they get the put on the camera the most because that's who's doing all the bullshit. And there are great cops. We've all had them. We all know them. We've all, experienced them. But unfortunately, the ones that make it look bad are the ones that are representing the whole fucking idea of being a policeman. Just like us.
right.
When white people see
And
Black Lives Matter, I'm gonna let you go. When white people see Black
yeah.
Lives Matter, the few people that say, that say whatever they say about, pig in a blanket, whatever, whatever, now they tie the whole Black Lives Matter to that shit. Same idea. You know what I'm saying? We do it unfortunately for police, but it's still a process. It's still a choice. You all chose to do that. So I can't cut them that much slack. I don't. And then it goes to my personal experience. As you can see, there's a little emotion involved because I haven't had many positive experiences with police. And for all of y'all that know me, know my temperament, which is very, very patient. So I don't have a good story to go off of to say, okay, I can understand why this. No, no, no. I haven't got much good response from my encounters with police. It's just that fucking simple.
Yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from. I'll be honest with you. I know I've had my share of run-ins with law enforcement,
Back when he
but
used to fight in the clubs in Orlando.
man, chill out, man.
He's delivered now,
Nah,
y'all. He's delivered.
I'm delivered. No, but the thing I gotta say about that, and I completely get where you're coming from, but if you make it, if you make certain requirements, so for example, George Zimmerman was gonna be a cop, but through some mental health evaluations and assessments, they
Yeah.
realized he was not qualified. You got to take those steps into making sure that that goes into place for these law enforcement officers, make those requirements higher. You don't see the FBI agents going
That's
out
what I
here
was just about to
Yeah.
shooting
say.
black women.
You need to go
You
through
don't
like
see
four,
CI
five
because
tests.
exactly, you go through tests, you go
Mhm.
through
Mhm.
training, and if we're gonna make sure that we want our law enforcement to operate accordingly, we have to give them the resources. Hence to what Watts was saying in regards to defunding the police. I firmly believe that we have to change the mindset overall, and then we also have to separate the prosecutors away from working with law enforcement so closely, because the reason why they get off and DAs don't really go after them and things like that is because their relationship is tied
Mhm.
closely to the law enforcement
Yeah.
branches. So you have to find a way systematically to break that relationship or make it a separate entity. There needs to be checks and balances within that entity of law enforcement so that we can't continue to have these scenarios.
Yeah, and I think to your point as well. I know like a lot of people are like we should, have the police their community. I get that,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, to what Teddy's point is, there needs to be check and balances with that. I'm with policing your community, but of course there are going to be some people that's going to try to get over on their community. So
Mhm.
there needs to be that check and balance. But I do think that I don't know, a restructuring, a reform, something. There's something that needs to happen, man. Dallas, what you got?
I'm with the whole the reform for the police, but that'll go up to local elected officials.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
So get
just
out and
doing your
vote.
research in whatever county you live in, you know, that's why voting is important. If anything, it could be a trickle effect down to the actual problem, with police for anybody that feel like, they vote don't count or it don't matter or, why should I? Because, it could potentially, have an effect on these types of
Yeah.
situations. So, uh, police reform definitely, um, going up to your elected officials. I'm still, because I don't know I don't know too much about politics and how things works, but like judges, I don't.
Judges play a part in it as well, and that's
Yeah, but
kind
I
of
don't feel like there are any good ones. Like
Mhm.
Well, yeah,
whether the cop is
they
we
good
run
or
got
the.
whether the cop is bad, like when it's time for them to get any kind of
Mhm.
like sentencing or something,
the
like there's nothing, and
the
they're the judge. Like you literally have one job, and it's to judge,
Yeah.
yeah, the one
but
the
you
thing
don't
that I've
do it.
noticed is that with the judges, it seems like you start seeing more prosecutions or more stuff getting charged when it's around election season, and
Yeah.
that's
Not
usually
only
when they
that,
do it.
I hate that judges have to actually like consider things when it comes to situations like this. Like
Yeah.
somebody white murdered somebody black. I mean, it shouldn't be a trial for that. That's a
Yeah.
waste of time, and that's a waste of taxpayer dollars. Like, why we got to go through this?
Yeah,
These are the facts.
yeah.
The case should be like 2 seconds long, but
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same
Well,
time, you gotta go through Constitution. That's technically what they're going by. So even though we know the Constitution is not working in our favor,
I'm starting to feel like Batman.
didn't they got an Orlando Batman? They do got an
yeah,
Orlando Batman.
That's funny.
they
Dallas, you
do.
trying to tell us something?
Uh oh. I think that
Hey,
was a hint.
I ain't coming to the west side.
Teddy, you were about to say something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna reference back to the judge thing. Those circuit judges and those judges that are working in your county are elected. So
Mhm.
essentially, we have to still go back into educating those judges. But typically, when it comes to murder charges and things of that nature, you're convicted actually by a jury, but the judge has say so
Yeah.
on your actual sentencing. So how long or how short your sentence is kind of where that judge comes into play. And one important thing that we just really have to, and it ties all back into this, is that we have to really start voting and then electing our own
Yeah.
into
Mhm.
representation of our areas, or what I'm saying. Um, representing our certain districts or counties or communities and such like that. So voting for your judges, voting for your local officials, all of that, we got to be more involved. I really feel like it's great, this whole movement that we're
Hmm.
talking about, and police reform and all that. But let's be honest, guys. I'm gonna keep it straight with you. How many times have you seen this?
That's
Seen it.
It's election year.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's be real.
Hmm.
They
and
just trying to sell us something.
Of
that's
course.
This
and
happens
that's
all the time.
and that's why I want to let everybody know who's listening to this podcast. We know we're not the biggest podcast, but if you were out there doing all that protesting, you were out there doing all that looting or whatever you want to call it, you was out there protesting, standing up for rights, and you feel like you are standing with us and believe that our views and Black lives do matter and all that,
Hmm.
go get your ass registered to vote
Yeah.
and vote on those local levels.
Yep.
Because if that's not changed, we know what's not going to change in the
Yep.
fucking up there in DC. So I mean,
Yeah, because up in DC is where the real puppets are at. The real movement and changes are happening on a local level. And unfortunately, I'll be honest to say, I didn't understand that until as of recent, more or less. Like, even going into college, I just, you always think when you hear vote, it's presidential. You forget how many different chairs and seats there are that come in your local area before you get there. Plus, my issue was I've moved every year of my life until I owned my home, which means I never had a community to really invest in to say, let me see what's going on in that community, because I change communities every year. So that's on me, but I just mean a lot of people are like that where they're not really into their community. They're just, living. So they don't really understand the get on the local level because they don't even know their community to support it, to vote into it, to research the people in it, whatever.
yeah, man. And shout out to Travaris McCurdy. I got my
Hey,
eye on you, boy.
Hey,
hey,
oh,
trap
Hey,
that's
hey.
my bro. Doing
already.
big things down here.
Yeah, but as y'all can see, this topic, I mean, it's a big topic. It's a very important topic, and we damn sure can talk about this forever because we should be talking about it. These are the things when we asked at the beginning of this segment, what can we do to change things? None of this is going to be a quick fix. None of
Yeah.
it.
I mean, since
Hey,
we
can I?
don't go ahead.
I just wanted to add one point
Sure,
to
sure.
your point, Watts. Please, 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 to all the listeners of this podcast, check your registration early. What
Yeah.
location you're voting at. Have a
Yeah, I checked my
specific
shit yesterday.
plan to how you're getting voted. Voter suppression is very real. During the last election here in Georgia, mine was actually cleared off. I didn't have a voting location, even though I was authorized, because they were using addresses from my previous dates on certain student loan stuff or whatever the case may be. I can go out here and say it blunt and utilize that as a reason to invalidate my voter registration. So check early, get involved early, and have a plan for voting because it is important.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I said that.
Yeah, to that point too, Teddy. To your voter suppression point, I signed up for an absentee ballot like months ago. Still haven't got my shit, so I just did my research to make sure I know where the polls is open
Yeah,
early, so I can make sure I can
Yeah.
just go ahead and get my shit and get up out. So, yeah, make sure y'all check
absolutely,
y'all shit.
because they're defunding the postal service and everything right now.
Yeah, it's a
So
lot going
they and remember, race is up on your card, so they know
on.
who you are.
This is
Well,
true.
since we really not going to really talk about it for the most part today, we might as well go ahead and jump up sports with what's happening on
Yeah.
the minute by minute basis.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead? Shit, I'm gonna let Dallas bring this one in because I first found out by looking at his post first.
Man, before I start, man, I don't know if it was just a headline, but it just said that the Milwaukee Bucks boycotted, and I'm pissed that we weren't in that same
That
headline.
conversation,
Like,
but
and we in Orlando.
I could give you some background about why that happened. But I'll let you go ahead and set it up. What happened first?
I mean, if you because I don't want to blaspheme my team. I
Yeah,
don't want to kick us while we down. I don't want to
While we down
kick another
three
one.
It's
one.
all right.
and I'm pretty
You're
sure.
around Magic fans. I'm a Magic
Yeah,
fan. You good?
and to keep it a buck, man, I don't think it was something that was organized. I think it was initially organized by the Milwaukee Bucks, so that's why the Milwaukee Bucks didn't come out. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a player association thing until after the Bucks did it.
And
Uh,
to be fair, it's a lot going on
right,
in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
so
right,
I can understand why they jumped out first with
right,
it.
right.
But
So, So to give the context, today is what is today's date? The
26th.
26th, Wednesday the 26th. The NBA playoffs is going on in the bubble down in Orlando, and around what they were supposed to play at 3 or 4 today.
Yeah.
Around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock today, the Orlando Magic and Milwaukee Bucks was scheduled to play game
Five.
five of the playoffs. Um, but the Magic came out, for warm ups, and Milwaukee Bucks never showed up. We found out later that the Milwaukee Bucks decided to not show up in protest of what's happening in Milwaukee.
Hmm.
Um, of course, to Dallas' point, Orlando was kind of left stupid out there because they were just out there just warming up, getting ready to play a game. Didn't know nobody know about what was going on.
Yeah.
Soon after that happened, it kind of rolled down to all the other games that were scheduled today, which were the Rockets and the Thunder, and the Lakers and the
Trailblazers.
Trailblazers. Um,
Shout out Chris Paul.
Shout out to
He
Chris Paul. Yep, I was about to read
he's the
that.
president of the union, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the
Of the players?
president.
Yeah,
Something like
president
that.
of
He's the
the Players
president of the Players
Association.
Association. So I guess him, Russell Westbrook, and then all the other players involved. I'm sure LeBron, everybody else. They just had like a light little conversation, and
Hmm.
then they NBA Players Association put out a press release shortly after, saying the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association today announced that in the light of the Milwaukee Bucks' decision to not take the floor today for Game 5 against Orlando Magic, today's 3 games: Bucks, Magic, Houston Rockets, and Oklahoma City Thunder, and Los Angeles Lakers versus Portland Trailblazers have been postponed. Game 5 of each series will be
Not
rescheduled.
postponed.
Hey,
Boycott.
I was about to get to that. I was about to get to
Come
that. So
on now.
that is what was communicated off the NBA page earlier today. Um, right after that, the news outlets got word of it. Spread off ESPN,
Hmm.
Sports Center, CNN, all the news outlets. And then LeBron was watching the news, I'm assuming, and on his live, he not live on his Instagram story, he scratched out not postponed,
Boycott.
boycotted.
Hmm.
So that leaves up a debate right now of whether we're even going to have any more NBA playoff
Yeah.
games right now. After the NBA decided to postpone their games, boycott their games, the MLB followed the decision.
Hmm.
The WNBA was also scheduled to play a couple different games today, which we don't even know right now because our TV's off if they're going to play. But they showed up in T-shirts spelling out the
Jacob
gentleman
Blake.
named Jacob Blake.
And man,
Spelling,
when the
and
WNBA though,
Yeah.
when they make statements, man, they
They,
be so
yeah.
creative with it, man. And it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
like
to
I
So
love them so much,
so
man.
to your point, how creative they got with it, they spelled
Mhm.
out Jacob Blake, as well as on the back of their shirts they had 7 gunshot wounds on the back of their
yeah,
shirts.
7 holes in it.
7 holes in it. Yeah, 7 holes in it to represent the gunshot wounds in his back. So, and as we just got
Hmm.
started to watch the game, we kept hearing about the different ideas of what they were going to do
Yeah.
in order to show solidarity and to bring light to the moment by taking the 24-second violation, by stopping the ball and placing the ball on the floor every 7 minutes
Hmm.
of play for each quarter. But then it also came around right before we started that the Washington Mystics, I believe it is, they didn't want to play at all.
Yeah.
However, the other team still did want to play, so they were still trying to debate if they were even
Yeah.
going to play at all today. So it's a lot of stuff going on. The Milwaukee Bruins, they canceled their game today. All the MLB games also got canceled today. So it's a lot of stuff going on,
Yeah.
a lot of action going on, which I support. And even fucking Kenny Smith, he was on doing NBA TV just a few minutes ago, and he as a former player,
Well,
he
that
was like,
exit was cold though.
yeah, he was like,
I
he
missed
was,
that. What
cold.
happened?
he basically was just saying, out of support and solidarity for my brothers, I don't feel like I need to be here either, and
Yeah.
walked off the stage on the NBA TV on NBA on
There it
TNT.
is.
So
Took off all his shit. He
Yeah.
unmiked himself and was talking without the mic and shit. That's how you know it was serious. You
Yeah.
could barely hear him. I was
that's how
like,
you,
man.
that's how you know it was real. I
Yep.
mean,
Ernie sitting at the table like,
Ernie like, damn.
Yep.
But I mean, it's a lot of emotions going on around it. And to be honest with you, I was low key a little upset when the Lakers. When the Lakers was not gonna play because I needed that game. I had a long day at work.
He needed that
I
game.
needed to watch this Lakers game. I saw Dallas. I saw Dallas post, and I was like, Magic automatically win.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Hilarious.
it's emotions everywhere on both sides, but we all. I think that we all get it.
Yes, of
we
course we
all
do.
get it. But of course, there's going to be that uprise.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure by the time we turn the TV on CNN, you're going to see
Yep.
that Cheeto looking dude
Yes,
going off on Twitter
45.
or
I
something
don't
like that.
watch basketball
Shut
anyway,
up and
Like,
dribble.
this is
they
the
don't
reason why I do not watch the
Yeah,
they
NBA.
don't
like
matter.
me and Watts were just talking about this before. I was like, if I could be a fly on the wall, just on the random white man's house, to hear how upset they are about what's going on, because they don't get it. The fact is, they just don't get it. So just to hear what they really say, like, what the fuck is that gonna do? Why would you do that? Why won't they just play? Like, they don't really
You won't even
see.
have to be a fly on the wall because everything that you assume and that's what it's
That's
gonna
what they're
do.
saying.
Like
That's
we
yeah,
already
that
know
somebody's gonna
everything.
say that shit out loud,
The words right out of my head. I was thinking the
man.
same thing, Dallas. I was like, you don't gotta be on a flower wall. You know it's
Yeah.
being said
Say
in
the
I
front
Yeah.
could
of
have
say the
you.
been a
most
fly about it
outlandish
for no
racist ass
reason,
shit,
man.
and there you
Yep.
go.
I
Won't they
could have
shut the
been I
fuck
could
up
have
and
been in the
dribble?
women's
I mean,
bathroom, man, but I'm
They get paid so
listening.
much money
all
just
of
to be
that.
there, and
But one of the biggest distractions is the fact that they're in the bubble. Sure, it's COVID, but it's to try to keep them away from all that shit so they could just continue to keep their millions rolling. But the NBA had a better idea, or the players rather had a better idea. You know what? We still understand our power here, and I'm loving that. If nothing else, I'm loving the fact that they're understanding their power and they're knowing how to use it more and more and more. Now, and they also got to give props to Adam Silver for what I'm saying, pretty much allowing it and not even questioning it.
Well,
Just like what
let's
He
keep it a
didn't he
buck.
didn't allow
I was
anything.
about to say
This is
today he didn't
the
allow shit.
NBA. The
well, not
NBA is
allowing, but not really fighting back. If you notice, he hasn't really ever clapped back at what their decision was to do.
That's
the NBA is a players league.
Hmm.
See, the motherfuckers in the NFL, they can't do this because that's an owners league.
Hmm.
And that money's not guaranteed. In the
Yeah,
NBA, it's a players league and that money's guaranteed. And it's pretty much like the hip hop of sports.
yeah,
So they gotta go like, bruh, if LeBron stopped playing,
yeah,
other teams losing money because
yeah.
when he
He's
go to
bringing the
their
money to their
hometown, they
city,
up the tickets.
big time. We know that.
So that's a players league. Adam Silver, he ain't got no control over that.
I feel you.
yeah,
Shout out.
and
Go ahead, Teddy.
oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna
No,
say
I was
shout out
just
to that wrestling tank top Dallas. But go ahead, Teddy.
nigga out here think
yo,
he's nigga out here
please,
think he's
bro.
Sting and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got a bat too, and I'm coming to see both you motherfuckers.
No, but I was just gonna say it has to
Batman.
do it the way the NBA has marketed themselves, it actually helps them to be for their GM. What's his name?
Adam Silver.
You guys just mentioned him.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why I brain farted on that one.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, Adam Silver, he he's a marketing genius if you think about it, because he stays quiet. He knows how to approach certain situations, but most of the time he's gonna hold back before he says anything.
Hmm.
And the NBA as a whole have kind of made their dollars off of being that progressive league.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, like they're always in the forefront of certain things,
Yeah.
because it is a player driven league, which is absolutely true. But it helps to their marketing. It's NBA cares,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
Walt Disney does this with the NBA
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're clean cut. They're changing their image completely. Back in the '90s, it was them hood. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now they've kind of changed that image, and this actually supports them to do the boycotting and all that stuff. That's their whole spiel.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money.
Yeah, yeah, man. But let's keep it with sports for right now. But how would you guys feel if there were no more sports right now, and if there was a true boycott that would last?
I'll go first. Sorry.
You got it.
Um, as much as I love
Anwar don't
sports,
really watch sports for real anyway. So
Lies.
right? He'll be like, as much as I do love sports, man, like if the players just stop, like I'm totally in favor for it. And I'm faithful to football. I be in fantasy leagues. I watch the Browns games. I watch the boring games, man. I love watching it. But if they just want to stop and like focus on this, I'm all for that. I'll be crushed. Don't get it twisted. But I know it's for a bigger reason, and they're trying to use their platforms to do something, man,
yeah,
because nothing's working.
Yeah.
me and Anwar was having a discussion, and we were kind of thinking about why the WNBA players kind of wanted to play,
Hmm.
and unfortunately,
Exactly.
unfortunately, we know that they want to stand because they've always been the most stand up advocates,
Hmm.
standing for Black Lives Matter, for any social injustices that's been out there. They've always been, forefront of that. But we kind of understand why the WNBA players might want to play
Hmm.
because this is affecting the way they live.
Yeah.
You know, they only getting paid $45,000-$60,000 a
Yeah.
season.
Some of us get
We
paid
get paid
more than
more
that.
than that.
Hmm.
Some of us get paid more than that. Like this is their livelihood. I mean, you know, and if the WNBA season isn't happening, and if they miss a game, that's a check out of their pocket.
Yeah.
Because even after the WNBA season, they still have to go overseas and go play.
Yeah.
So I understand from the ladies' standpoint, from the WNBA standpoint, with the exception of, course, you know, those top tier athletes who getting paid millions
Yeah.
of
For
why they
that's.
want to play. But still, though, man, I mean, it's hard out here. Everyone has to make a decision. But I'm with you, Dallas. Like, if that decision was made not to play any more games,
Hmm.
I would completely understand. Like, it's something has to ignite the fire to actually do the change.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Teddy, you want to add on that?
Maybe coming from a different approach, man. I'll be honest
That's
with
what you're
you.
here for. Yeah, that's what
I
we got you
hate
here
Uh,
for.
this shit.
Now he gonna give us the deep
Listen,
political approach.
so this is how my viewpoint on it. If they just chose to not play, I mean, I respect it. I can't say anything towards someone's personal decision in regards to how they want to proceed in this. There's no right or wrong way to protest. The thing with me is, I feel like that hurts more than it helps. There are a lot of people who have jobs based off of these leagues kind of proceeding. So I know people personally close to me who kind of rely on it other outside of just the athletes.
Nah, shout out to my dog
Um,
Elliot.
there's a lot of economical standpoints that comes from this. What I would like to see is leagues with player driven motivation, such as the NBA, MLB, that have strong unions, kind of take parts of their proceeds and things of that nature, and have that go towards an individual goal that helps the cause. So that way, you're not hurting the economy. Um,
Uh
you're
oh,
not hurting the
wifey done walked in the
economy
room.
from a standpoint. Yes, yes. Looked over here. I'm like,
Wifey done
it's
walked in
even.
the room. He's like, I'm about to get in trouble. I ain't on the phone with
Uh,
nobody, baby.
It's
just
Jake from
win,
State
baby.
Farm. Jake
Man,
from
I
State
could have
Farm.
had a deep conversation and then y'all just
What
throw
are you
me off like
wearing, Jake
that,
from
man.
State Farm? Khakis.
I saw the door crew. I'm like, what's going on? Um, no, but if you're looking at it from an economical standpoint, there's too many jobs that rely on that.
Yeah,
I
that's real.
really personally feel like what the NBA was already doing, pushing that message, but making sure that the proceeds, maybe the ones that you get from advertisements, certain a portion of that goes towards police reform, goes towards real police reform, because that's one concern that I've had that. I actually heard. I hate to say it. I was listening to a Black Republican Trump supporter video. I'm not going to give them
Oh,
any
this nigga was
credit, but I
watching the
was listening
Republic
to them,
convention.
and that was one point that they really made to me that I was like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. And the standpoint is, where are all this money that we're raising for Black Lives Matter and all those things actually going? What organizations are benefiting from that, right? So I'm not saying that I'm taking their idea and saying that it's going the wrong place, but that is a question I want answered. And we can do the same thing with these leagues if they're continuing to play and say, hey, we're going to continue to play, but we need a certain portion of the proceeds to go towards this organization to make this change, or the legal team for the family who's um, the family of the victims or whatever the case may be, but things that's going to proceed towards change. I don't think that just not playing does really any good if there isn't any plan moving forward. I feel like we're doing too much. I feel like just black people as a whole, we do too much symbolism.
No,
So,
Well, go ahead.
I agree
and
with you. I agree with you 100%. And like I think you kind of summarized how all of us is feeling,
Mhm.
just more in a more elegant way because we don't know how to
I don't
be
have those
that.
words, Teddy.
But nah, I 100% agree. Like if we don't like, that's ultimately what I thought the bubble was created for. Like, and that's ultimately what I want the bubble to be was, y'all make y'all money, get y'all money, but however, put it towards something that's going to create
Mhm.
that change.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
we want to know what that change is going to like. What are you putting towards? That's kind of what I felt like. Though.
I feel. Let me jump in on that because I'm a counter just a tad because I also think I still agree with the idea of maybe not playing the games and trying to boycott because the whole point is, of course, we're frustrated. We're not going to continue to be used out here for entertainment and for distraction while all this stuff is going on and everybody's watching these playoffs, but nobody's addressing that, my brothers and sisters are getting killed right in the background, but y'all are still worried about us out here playing. But I think the idea is also to stop bringing the money into the NBA. Yes, it's going to fuck up the economy, but hopefully those big people that are writing those checks, those owners, those investors, everybody, it'll hurt their pockets enough to where they can redistribute the same money that they're losing. Like, you know what? We're not going to get out there and play until y'all show us that this money, like you said, is going to those right places. So it's not saying continue to play and then tell us you're sending that money out. No, we're not going to play until you show us and tell us that that money is going to the right places. So I actually think that's the a part of the reason why they're not playing outside of the emotional aspect of it.
So who decides what's the right place? See, that's
That's
my
and that's
biggest
that's
thing.
Yeah,
another question too. That's another
LeBron
question.
does. Duh, not just playing.
That is true though. That is true.
But
But
no,
that's
again, but it takes too long to do all of that and just say continue to play and let's get this thing in motion about because they're still playing.
but I mean
So how about you take this downtime from not playing and y'all come together at these player associations because they did just have a meeting with all NBA players invited. I don't know how they're gonna get all these motherfuckers in one fucking camera Zoom meeting, but I guess they're trying something, and I'm sure they're gonna discuss these things. Okay, what do you guys want out of this? What is the real reason? And that's how, because you actually get their voices. You don't have to get Chris Paul to represent a whole NBA or LeBron's powerful voice to represent a whole NBA. You can get everybody's little piece by piece, just like a fucking virtual class that we're doing for these kids now.
I think a perfect example of that, like you said, if that's something that they're doing. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Muhammad Ali, they all did the same thing, something similar, where athletes from all sports came together, to try to direct where that change needs to occur and where the funding need to go. But I mean, that's a good question, Teddy. That's a good question. I mean, who's also advising them to make sure
Yeah.
they're making the right decision? You know what I mean? So that's a good question.
It's
Man.
not
Yeah.
going to be quick decision. It's not
No,
going
it's
to be
not
a
gonna be a
quick
quick
fix no
decision.
matter what, man. It's just again the discussion we're having. Let's hope that they're having it on a deeper scale, which I'm sure they are, and let's really just pray on the fact, not the fact, pray on them getting something done because, like you said, I hate that it's what Wednesday the 26th. By Friday, by Saturday, another one. You know what I'm saying? And that's just been the story since we've been young. Before we didn't understand it. Now we're getting older. We're seeing it. Some of us, unfortunately, have experienced it maybe on a milder level, but it has been this way since before our fucking time. It's just now being televised and whatnot and shared. But I don't know, man. Frustration is just the only word I could think of behind all of this shit.
Yeah, man.
It's been
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been. It's an election year. It's a great way to get people amped up to vote. I mean, if you think about how the black percentage of people who went out and voted for Trump in regards to or in comparison to the last what was it, the election prior to that with Obama, you start to see how the numbers differentiate. We're 13% of the population, but we're a big 13%, and we have spending power. We have
Yeah.
influence. So if you think about it, if you look at all the marketing that's been going on this election period, what has it been focusing on?
Black lives, black
Black
lives, black
rights.
lives.
Black Lives Matter.
Hmm.
That's been your Black Lives Matter or COVID. How are you
Yeah.
handling COVID? Oh my goodness, another black person shot.
Hmm.
There's police brutality. And I hate to say it, but the media is manipulating us in a sense to where they're using our pain and struggle and things that we've known about for years, but it wasn't really getting a lot of attention because
Hmm.
you need an election period to encourage black people to come out and vote and be angry. I think that some of the celebrities that I've seen, like I think it was Diddy and a couple others that were really pushing the narrative that black people, we start to incentivize. Okay, what you gonna do for us?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Biden came out with a black plan. Um,
Yeah.
I don't agree with all of the plan, but at the same point, you don't see Trump coming out with a real black plan. He's just
Mm-mm.
talking about how our unemployment has been lowered,
Yeah. Same shit he been
and
saying. Yeah. And he didn't even do that.
yeah,
It was like that going into office. He just taking credit for that shit. We remember how that goes. But
exactly.
Yeah. So
I
I
just
think
really,
It's all ploy.
I just really want to know, like for real, where the fuck is Ja Rule when you need him for this kind of shit? Like fuck, for real. Like where the fuck is Ja?
question for y'all. So let's just say if that the games do come back, is whoever win the NBA championship is it going to take away from their legacy? LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Wait, you
I,
said what now? If they come back and then
If they
like the
come back and
Lakers
whoever
win
wins
it,
the championship, do you think that this
there's
moment that we
asterisks.
all going through, this is it going to be an asterisk or take away from their legacy? It's not a real
hey,
championship.
You
like
mean the
the
whole
top
restart and
half.
everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anwar said yes.
I think so. Yeah, I think well, let me say this specifically if the Lakers win because they're gonna always find a reason to take something from LeBron.
You,
I've noticed that.
you.
No, I give him props. I think a lot of us have got his respect from lately. But I think if he wins, definitely they're gonna put an asterisk on it. Now, whoever else wins, they'll still say, "Well, shit, it was that restart year, so technically, you know what I mean." That's how I feel at least.
Dallas, what
Ten
were you
years
saying,
from now,
Dallas?
you
Hey,
ain't gonna remember.
Let's hope.
haters gonna hate, man. Like I'm not the biggest Bron fan, but at the same time, I'm not disrespecting what this guy has done. Like
Yeah.
he probably maybe the only player that lived up to like what that level of hype coming out of high school,
Yep.
man. This man had 90 million before his senior prime, bro. Like
Yeah.
I had fifty
Nike
dollars.
endorsement.
And a
Yep.
Hummer.
And a Hummer.
You know what I'm saying? So like to deal
Uh-huh.
with that kind of pressure and come into the league with no blemishes, you don't
Yeah.
hear no kind of scandal on this dude,
Yeah.
family man, his
Except
wife
that he fucked
bad.
Rihanna, but anyway, that was pretty dope. But go ahead.
Anyways,
Exactly.
his
The year.
kids, his kids balling. He built a school. It,
But I mean, I don't even want to just keep it with LeBron. I think honestly, if anybody wins the championship, one, let's just say hypothetically speaking, like people are people with the exception of
look, man,
those who not.
you either want to play or you don't want to play.
No,
If
I'm
you
not
in
even
the
talking about that.
bubble,
I'm
then
not
you gonna
talking about
play.
that. I think it's harder now with this bubble situation. One, because everybody's healthier. So let's say
Hmm.
right now, even tonight, like Damian Lillard wasn't supposed to play tonight,
Yeah.
and
Now
if
he'll.
they now hopefully he'll be able to play again in Game Five, even though the Lakers probably still gonna whoop their ass. But
Hmm.
everyone's healthier, and it's harder playing in the bubble because there's no home field advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Or
to
crowd or
me,
nothing. Yeah.
but
Just,
Anwar, he's a hater saying he's gonna say yes, it's an asterisk this week and all that. But
I think they will. Like I mean, but Teddy made a point. Like you said, in 10 years we're gonna forget. Like think
exactly.
about it. I really think yeah, in 10 years or so we'll forget the depth. We won't as much because we lived there,
You
we
gonna
were
forget.
active
You
in
gonna
it.
forget in 5 years.
But no,
Nigga.
for real, because you're right. We probably will because I have to compare it to shit like okay, we didn't technically forget about Big Three, LeBron and them, but it's still kind of like okay, he won. Period.
But y'all
Then
forgot. But y'all forgot about Big Three Celtics.
no, we didn't. Nah, and
A
I
lot of
didn't. Of
people
course,
did.
of course, they don't look at them as the big three. They think LeBron was the first big
Exactly.
three, but we know that the big three was even before that with KG and them. But anyway, also with the KD, all that talk about he left teams. No, now you know KD to be a fucking champion and a top three player in the fucking league.
Nah, that nigga's
You
an
don't think
Do
too
asterisk.
y'all
much.
do y'all remember the shortened season
Yeah,
where the
with the
Spurs won a
Spurs.
championship? I think we were still at FAMU.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I do.
Spurs.
They
That was
beat.
No, I forgot
that's
about that.
Yeah,
You're right.
They
when they
beat
sweet
Cleveland,
LeBron.
right?
When they sweet
you
LeBron.
see,
You're right. I kind
they
of forgot
played
about
only
that.
half a season,
Yeah.
Well, LeBron
and
made it with
nobody
goddamn.
remembers that.
When LeBron made it with fucking Ty Lue, and not Ty Lue. Who the fuck he was?
Ricky Davis.
Ricky Davis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And fucking what's the nigga? Monica.
Williams,
Yo, Booby Williams.
Monte, not Monte.
yeah. Well, they only
Eric
had like
Snow.
didn't they only play like
Daniel
60 games that
Gibson.
season or something like that?
Yeah,
60 something.
yeah, it was a
Because they
short
had a
season though.
shortened season because they had striker in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, nobody talks about that
But
no
now you're
more.
right. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shoot, man. I know we about to probably wrap up, the political aspect in the sports. I mean, we already at an hour mark. I don't know if we really want to get into too much, but I do want to ask you. I do want to tell you this.
What you
I
got?
cannot believe you let me leave the last podcast without talking about that WAP video.
Was the WAP video out for episode 46?
Yes, bro.
Was it?
Oh my god.
I guess we're gonna enter the shits now.
Cardi
Okay.
B for president, bro. I cannot believe you let me
We're into the
leave the
shits.
podcast without talking about the WAP
Was the
video.
WAP popping? Was it new
Oh
for,
my god.
for 46? I guess
Yes,
so.
it
But
was, bro.
that video, I'll let you since you brought it up.
I'm gonna let Dallas talk about it
I
first.
mean, I'm actually
Beating off to it
like
now.
my
What?
brother was saying like it wasn't the right time for it to drop.
It wasn't. I
Um,
agree, but still,
considering like what's going on, but like that wasn't, and I would tell him like that wasn't the only song that's talking about what they talking about that dropped since all this was going on. Um, my stance on it is that one, and I don't want to speak for everybody like me in these times, man. I still need to unwind and I need to clear my
yeah,
mind and I
Hmm.
need to keep my peace. I love music. I love those kind of videos.
Hmm.
Um, I like video games. I like to chill and hang with my people, despite of what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wake up scared every day,
Facts.
which is damn near impossible these days. And I got a family. I
Yeah.
got my wife and my sister in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm extra on the edge.
And
So
listen,
like
Oh, little
I'm
sis
here
in the
for.
house.
and listen,
Uh,
with even with the Megan Sally situation going on, that was something good for her, to help release the stress that she had
Yeah,
on just
she
getting shot and all that stuff at the
facts.
same time. So I thought it was. Listen, the song itself is catchy as fuck.
Yeah.
I thought the video was amazing.
Yeah.
but still focus on the task at hand. You
Yeah,
can't take a break to watch that video.
Yeah.
exactly, exactly,
Shout
man.
out to the WAP. Y'all not sure what we're talking about. We did just jump into it, but they got a new track out. WAP stands for Worship and Praise. Go watch it on your local gospel channel.
Nigga said
They
that
was using that too.
Fetty Wap got to change his name.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Fetty Wap. Nah, Cardi B for Prez. That's funny.
Cardi B for president, baby. Cardi B for president. All right, man. What else you want to go about?
Yeah,
Get
we
into the
got
music
to
real quick.
lighten
We'll
this
get
shit
into a
up a
little bit of
little bit.
music, a little bit of. Man, shout out to Dallas, man. Dallas kept me up to date with a lot of the DC fandom that dropped this past weekend, man. We'll get
Okay.
into it a
Man,
little bit,
boy.
Did
man.
y'all see the trailer for Batman?
Listen, bro,
The
we about
movie only 25% done, bro.
yeah. They
Damn.
ain't shoot. They ain't. I was
Man,
wondering how they dropped that trailer, bro.
I
Anwar
don't know
over here
how
like,
they
what is
dropped that
this?
This
trailer,
is
but
true.
from what I saw,
Yeah, man. But let's go through the music the first, and then we'll get
Okay.
into DC fandom a little bit, and then wrap it up.
Gotcha. I mean, music wise, one thing I wanted to ask. We just talked about this last episode, which is Drake dropping all these little random ass fucking singles. They everywhere as far as style. You know what I'm saying? They're different. Everyone is different from the other. The Grease joint, the Pop Star joint, and this Laugh Now Cry Later thing. I like that video, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Baby,
I thought that shit was funny as fuck.
That man had
Cool.
two Mercedes concepts in the
Bruh,
video.
did you
Not
see that
one,
shit?
but
That shit
two.
was crazy. I seen that shit because I'm not even a big video person. I just listen to the song, and if the video happens to pop up somewhere, I'll see it. But I actually went and checked that video, and I thought it was pretty dope.
Videos used to have a lot of power back in the day, man.
I know,
Yeah,
man. You over here talking to Dallas. He trying to give you some commentary.
some commentary.
What you was saying about Mercedes?
He just said it was two
The
concepts.
Mercedes
The
concept.
concept. Yeah, the
Yeah,
concept
the
car.
concept whips that he had. He had two of them,
Yeah,
man.
that shit crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then fucking going to the Nike. Nigga said, what is
Yeah,
it? When you can't Dior Nike Nike checker out or something like that.
hilarious, man.
It still was funny though, but I mean the video itself. That's one thing I do like about Drake, that he's not afraid to make fun of himself.
Yeah,
Always, him
yes.
getting tackled by Beast Mode.
Yeah.
That's Dallas boy right there.
Beast
Marshawn Lynch.
Mode.
Him getting dunked
Yammed
on
on
by
by
Kevin
KD,
Durant.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not afraid to make fun of himself,
Him
which I appreciate.
crying.
Because we all know he probably was really
Facts. And bro, I was like, "What the fuck? You all right?" That's some Drake
it,
shit.
It
But
was a good video, man.
now you're right. Drake is definitely embraced his personality ever since he came out. From the first songs, you know what I'm saying, from the best I ever had to, every song talking about some girl he done been with that done broke him. They made that man rich. All them women that screwed his ass over back in his corny days made this nigga who he is. And shout out to Drake for another fun, entertaining song. I ain't gonna say it was dope or nothing. I just thought it was fun and entertaining.
Yeah, yeah, it's not up in the top tier, but it's definitely something that's entertaining. Keep you listening, keep your ears to the street, man.
Yeah.
But one of the hottest albums that Dallas has in rotation right now, I'm sure, that dropped this past Friday. We got to go ahead and give a shout out to Nasir dropping his King's Disease,
shit,
who
okay.
was produced by was it Hitmaker?
Hit
No,
Boy.
Hitmaker.
Hit Boy.
Hit Boy.
It was produced by Hit Boy, man, and I'm sure Anwar hasn't listened to it.
Big facts.
wow.
But to
Big
me
facts.
though, man, sound wise, it's a great album for Nas.
How many
man.
tracks?
Let me see real quick.
13.
Yeah, 13 tracks. But sound wise, Nas has always been known for not picking the right beats for him.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we all know that he's a lyrical MC, as assassin, and all that. But the beats was amazing on this. Hit Boy did a great job with the production on this album and set up Nas with a lot of success, featuring a lot of younger artists as well, which
Okay.
I thought was super dope, man. Go ahead, Teddy, give me your take on that.
Oh, the Nazir album was fire, man. I just loved the way they produced it. All right, let me ask y'all something, because I heard Jay-Z drop something the next day, and I know
That
he
shit
has
was
a
trash.
pattern of dropping.
Oh, for real?
But I did not. I can honestly say I have not heard it yet. Was it really that bad? I like
Jay-Z verse was fire. Jay-Z verse was fire, but the song overall with Pharrell, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah.
But yeah, Jay-Z.
Nah.
I paid attention
I
because, like, as far as like a bop, it ain't, you're not gonna hear it in the club, but I get what the message.
Yeah, we get
I
the
What
message.
the message is,
Especially with
Yeah.
the times that we in right now.
Yeah, we
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
And why don't even know what the
I
fuck we
get it.
talking about?
Yeah, we get it.
But you
But-
know, Nah,
But yeah,
Jay Z dropping
that's
something
the
with
thing
Nas
though.
all the
That's the
time,
thing
bro.
though.
It's still
How do
funny.
y'all feel about that? Every time Nas drops something,
Everybody
Jay Z
drops
like, here we
something,
go. If
bro.
it's not Jay Z, it's Beyonce. If it's something,
Yes,
Damn.
bro. And
I
I
feel,
wanted to
man, I
hear
feel
the
like they
song, but I
talk
didn't want to
about
hear no
that, man.
Teddy.
They
No,
gotta talk
bro.
about that. Like this can't be like no.
it can't just be happening off
Yeah,
randomly.
Ain't
man.
no
Like Jay
coincidence,
Z ain't
bro.
got time to shade, man. He's sitting on a beef and some change.
Yeah.
Like
Bro, I
I
Damn.
thought
don't
we
know.
squashed this beef. That's what I
Exactly.
Right,
thought. I
right.
thought we squashed this
That's what
beef.
that's what Nas be saying. Like, damn nigga, like
Yeah, bro, that's
I'm
like,
just trying to
yeah.
shine for a weekend. That's all. I don't even want a whole month.
But this wasn't
Oh,
strong though. Like the
nah,
entrepreneur track with Pharrell and Hove, it wasn't that
nah, it
strong
wasn't.
for
It
me to
wasn't.
be like, okay, let me focus on this instead of the Nas album.
I
Like
listened to
Kings
it
of
one
Leon,
yeah.
time. I listened to it
that's a
one
hard ass
time.
album.
Jay Z, like I said, Jay Z verse was dope.
Yeah.
But the song itself, yeah,
I
this
actually
was
did
not
hear
going
that
in
song. My
rotation.
bad. I did hear it. I did hear it. You
Bro.
know, somebody sent me the
Why
video.
the fuck you
I'm for real. I
lying?
just look at my
You
YouTube history.
always
Look at my
lying.
YouTube history.
Hey man.
Ooh, oh
Yeah.
my God. Why the fuck did you
Anyway,
lie?
back
Nigga
to the
said,
other
look at my
music.
YouTube history.
Look at my YouTube history.
All right,
Dude, I'm
man.
not looking up your YouTube history. I'll just take your word for it.
That part. Thank you, Teddy. It was watched and listened to.
I,
Listen to.
Latest
Latest.
verses. Latest
Latest
verses.
verses coming soon. What is it? Monday the 31st, I believe, is the date that it drops. So
yep.
we every episode, the last few episodes rather we've discussed the previous verses and what we would like to see, potential verses, verses in the makings, just hot ideas for verses, and we kind of been hitting on some real ideas. I almost feel like we spoke about this. You know what I'm saying?
I think we saw something about it
Yeah,
first
I
before
think.
we spoke about it. But I mean, because I ain't gonna take the credit for this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I will. But no,
But
I'm just playing.
the two chains and Ross one, we spoke about
We
that
spoke
one.
about that
That
shit.
one, even though
But this one right here is a little more vintage, and the verses coming soon to us is Brandy versus Monica. So ATL's own Monica versus Brandy, which is seen to be picking up a lot of hype, and it should be because they're both were from the same era. This is one of the most relative verses to me, where they both coexisted at the same time. They were both very young, starting off, similar music. In friendly competition, or maybe even real competition back in the day.
the Boys and Miles was a real
Yeah, back in
competition.
the day, real ass competition. So, I ain't gonna lie, the catalogs, we all know a few hits from each. I would like to see where they go as far as back and forth tracks, but just for the vibe, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I agree. The vibe. I'm here for the vibe. I'm here for the vibe. But again, my whole thing with the verses thing is 20 songs. You can make or
Yeah,
break it. I mean,
yeah, facts.
because if like I said, if we go 30 songs, I think Monica be all right. But 20 songs, Brandon might can get you with 20 songs,
Man,
bro.
yeah,
And
He could
but
probably get you like me personally. If we talking about like singing ability,
oh yeah,
because I
Brandon,
pay attention to
vocal
different
range and all
things
that.
yeah, yeah.
when you listen to a song. So singing ability, I like Brandy
Yeah,
Hmm.
because she could dip up and down in her range.
yeah,
Monica got a strong voice, but it's more so on the lines like a strong church
Yeah,
voice.
that's where it
Which
started.
ain't bad, but that's what I feel from her. But her production, seeing
catalog.
as though she's from the South,
Yeah,
she got a lot more bops. Like I'm doing this to more Monica shit than
yeah,
I am Brandy shit.
the facts. Yeah, yeah.
So I sway back and forth, but like singing ability, man, like
Yeah,
I like
singing ability
Brandy,
definitely
but
Brandon.
bops wise,
Yeah.
I got Monica.
But hey, the funniest thing to me though, did you see the meme that I had posted?
Yes, I seen that shit.
Talking about something less Brandon driving a car, Monica ain't got to worry about shit.
Exactly.
Oh God,
That's
and
The
fantastic.
internet ain't shit, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
already at them. But it's gonna be interesting because if they're gonna do it the same way, where they'll both be in the same room, that's how it goes from now
I
on.
mean, I guess it depends. I
yeah.
mean, they're both. Yeah, it depends. Cause I think. Well, I don't know. Brandon lives in L.A., so we'll see. We'll see.
They said they're doing it at Tyler Perry Studios
Okay,
yeah,
That
here
so
in
makes
she
sense.
Atlanta.
going to Atlanta. So
okay.
Yeah, they're gonna do it in Atlanta.
Monica's gonna be home. That's what they did the last one. That's what they did Ross and
Yeah, they did
For
Ross
real?
and Two Chains
Chainz.
Yep.
at Tyler Perry's. Was it Tyler Perry's at Ross?
Hmm?
Nah, it was at Tyler
No,
Perry.
I think it was not Tyler Perry's.
Gotcha.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
I think
Well,
they.
Yeah, yeah.
All that damn space, man. Man, y'all come over here and do it, man. Man, room. Like,
Shit, after that movie they
Man.
filmed at that studio, I don't know if they want to do shit over there. What was that trash movie that they filmed? Damn, forgot what it's
you
called.
know how many movies they
we-
film over there, bro?
Well, the one that came on the fucking Netflix and everybody was clowning, talking about the wardrobe was horrible, production was horrible, light was
Man,
horrible.
shout out to, but fuck that, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
Netflix. Netflix been dropping some heat when it's goddamn quarantine time.
they
bro.
got some heat coming
Yes.
too.
Yeah, and they got heat coming, bro.
I ain't watched it in a
Fuck
while.
that, bro. Anyways, I'm about to drop a couple of them in a minute, but yeah, man. So Dallas said he's swaying back and forth, so he ain't really sure. I said I'm on the fence too.
I'm
I'm kind of
taking
with
Brandy.
I'm taking with Monica. Anwar said he's taking Brandy. Teddy, who you got?
Man, I got Brandy all day. I
Yeah,
was sleeping on her. I'm sorry, man.
yeah.
I don't see the catalog lasting that
I
long
feel
with
you. They need
Brandy.
to make five
Monica get
tracks
You said with Brandy?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
Monica.
I'm
Talking
With
about
telling you,
Monica?
Monica. Getting talking about
yeah.
Monica.
I'm telling you right now, if it was like 10 to 15 a track somewhere in that ballpark might be a challenge. But Brandy got them hitters, bro. And I'm
Nah.
telling you right now, you're gonna start hearing some sort of like, oh, I forgot about this.
I believe
That's
that.
what people.
All right.
That's what I feel like is gonna happen. Like Monica, I think I know
So
my
fuck it. I'm
my
going
head of the
Monica. Dallas,
song.
you got to give us a decision there. Who you taking,
Oh,
bro?
Oh,
tiebreaker.
listen, bro. Listen, I go. I listen to my music, especially like R&B. I listen to like
Well, we ain't talking
vocalist
about the
music.
range. We talking about who you picking in
But
the
that's what I go by. So
verse.
I'm choosing Brandy because she's a
Okay,
better
well, fuck y'all.
overall
I'm taking
singer to
Monica.
me.
I'm taking
All
Monica.
right.
So it's 3 against 1. Then when I come back on y'all like LeBron, nigga, fuck y'all.
Well, you and Rocco,
And I
y'all
wanted
got Monica.
and I
But hey,
wanted to
man, I
see
do want.
Jeezy and Rick Ross, man.
I gotta bring
Yeah.
this up, dog. I gotta bring this up because you brought up Rocco.
Oh, you heard me say Rocco.
I gotta bring this up. But did y'all
Don't do it.
see this shit?
What?
Dallas
I
know where
saw
I'm
another
going with
meme.
this.
I saw another meme where somebody said the proceeds was going to get Corey Miller out.
Oh shit.
It's a pro. So Monica's been posting all the stuff about C Murder. You know, C
Hmm.
Murder after the No Limit Chronicles
Yeah,
and stuff. Apparently, she's working with Kim Kardashian to get C Murder out of jail and stuff. But nigga, they're out here saying, bro, you know it's fucked up when you done how Shannon Brown feel right now when you done been married to her. You still can't get him back from your ex that's in jail.
Damn. Damn.
Oh man, bro,
Mm-mm-mm.
that's fucked up. Anyways, what else we got? We got anything else with music, real quick?
Um.
Oh, Dallas, do you have anything with music? You know, you the music guy.
Um,
Okay.
If not, then we'll go ahead and get into DC fandom real quick. You want to run down some of that?
shout out Two Chains with the
Two chains.
Oh yeah, with the
with the money
represent
maker.
with the Money Maker
Yeah.
Money
song. That
Maker
joint go
Shake your
song.
hard.
money maker. With
Yeah,
Wizzle.
was featuring all
Shout
the
out all the
HBCUs.
HBCUs. He got his album coming next month. Ty Dolla Sign. Well, Ty Dolla Sign got a track dropping. There it is. Big Sean. He just released a track with him and Nipsey. And his album coming next month too.
Okay, boy. That's right. He don't say that no more, right?
I
Boy.
think he still say boy.
Nah, he don't say.
Wait,
One of them he say he don't say no more.
Oh
Boy.
no, man. Big Sean. He was depressed and had anxiety and all that shit, man. Like so he in a different space, man. You know, he got Janae back, so
You say he gotta get her back, or he
No, he
has her
said he
back?
has her back. So
he got her back. So
Oh,
you know,
okay.
he in a good space. But
I'm
the
trying to
Big
be like
Sean
a
and the
nigga.
Nipsey track is called Deep Reverent,
Okay,
and it's a cold track, man. Like
I'm gonna check
Nip
that.
gonna always have that energy, and I just can't wait to hear like all the whatever that P word is. You know, like when you die and they bring your music,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I got you, man. So back to what we was talking about. Shout out to all the music. We know there's some new music on the way. I'm pretty sure with everything that's going on, there's going to even be some music out here to represent for the movement that we got going as well. That we need to make sure we continue. So we want to make sure that you guys please continue fighting for the movement. But
Yes.
to some other light news that kind of dropped over this past weekend, DC Fandom, which is pretty much like a big Comic Con event that they created online for a lot of different new movies that's going to be coming out from DC. We know a lot of y'all don't really like DC movies like that. You're not necessarily a DC guy, but I am a DC guy. So they dropped a lot of gems. I mean, one of the highlights of the moment, one of the highlights was Wonder Woman, the 1984
Yeah.
that's supposed to be coming out later on this year, man. I think that probably was one of the hardest trailers that did
That
drop
was.
this weekend, as well as to what, not Dallas, but what Teddy alluded to as well, the Batman, which is starring Robert Pattinson?
That's his
Yeah.
name.
Pattinson.
What, Twilight Boy.
Edward from
Yeah.
Twilight.
Twilight Boy.
That's supposed to be
Did he
coming
pick
in.
up some weight? Please tell
No,
me.
he didn't
Oh,
pick up any weight,
shit.
but it's supposed to come in
nah,
2021
bro,
or
so
22.
skinny.
Is that coming in
Yeah,
2021 or 22?
That's
Shit,
2021.
whenever COVID
2021.
leave,
Bro, can you let's speak 2021 or 22?
2021.
they don't even know.
Yeah, because I mean, like Dallas said, they only filmed 25% of the movie, but they did
Yeah.
shoot a hard ass trailer. And I'm not really a fan of Robert Pattinson, but the shit look interesting. The storylines look interesting. If you are a comic nerd like me, and like I know Dallas is, and like I know Teddy is, they're supposed to be following the Batman story, The Darkest Night. which is supposed to be dropping around like Halloween sometime. So I think the storyline might work. I don't
Yeah,
see him as a good Bruce Wayne yet, but
me
as
neither.
Batman,
Nah.
though, he looked like he might win.
Yeah, he
So
showed me some in that little trailer. I was like, that might work, man.
Right.
That might work.
Y'all forcing that shit. Y'all know that shit ain't gonna work.
I was watching it, but this is a concept that I saw. And Watts, I don't know if you picked up on this too, but how dark they made Patterson when he didn't have the mask on.
Yeah.
Almost looked like, usually Batman's very focused, determined, kind of like a straight, clean cut type of dude who just wears
Uh-uh.
the Batman mask and it's kind of dark. But they made him like really psychotic
Yeah.
looking. And they've
Like he
always,
was struggling
yeah,
with something mentally.
exactly. And they've always um kind of flirted with Batman being almost like the good version of the Joker,
Right.
like he's just a crazy dude out here doing that. I'm wondering if they're trying to gravitate towards that direction,
That would be dope.
Because
because
it was a voice talking to him. It was a voice
yeah,
talking to
That
him in
would
that
be
trailer.
dope.
exactly. And I was sitting here thinking like, oh, you know what, because there's been I know in the previous comics they've had Robin become the new Joker in certain
Jason
storylines.
Todd.
Exactly. So is this something that can kind of influence that towards making, a Robin? I
Look at
don't
Anwar.
know,
This
but he
nigga
looks
all in his
very
phone. He
psychotic.
just zoned out, bro. Pay attention to your podcast. Put your
I
phone
am.
down, bro. But no, man. No, I agree with you. I agree with you though. I agree with you though.
Me too. Since I'm not here.
Dallas, you had any take on the Batman?
Nah, man, like the little trailer that they showed, man, we got a black Commissioner Gordon now, and
Dope.
I pay attention to shit like that. And then the damn riddle, when somebody had decoded it, it was like, uh, what does a liar do when he dies?
Yeah.
And then like the answer was like
He
he
lies.
lies still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to Zoe Kravitz out here playing Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman. Out
That
here,
woman.
she gonna be doing her thing as well. A couple of another things, they didn't really drop a trailer for this, but it's also for the new Suicide Squad, which was like a background. I guess when you say behind the scenes, look at it. That shit look fire, dog. That shit look way
It's a
better
video
than
game.
no the Suicide Squad. They did the Suicide video
That's what I
game.
see
They
in the
did the
game.
video game,
Yeah.
and then they did the movie, like the behind the scenes for the movie with
Yeah.
Okay.
with
I ain't
Idris
see that. I
Elba,
gotta find it.
and that shit look low
Yep.
key fire, bro. I don't know how, and they said it's supposed to be like the biggest budget that they spent on a DC movie, so I don't know. But the video game too, that shit
Yeah,
look tough.
the Suicide Squad video game where they gotta take down Superman, bro, because Superman doesn't snap. Then the Arkham Knights game that picks up from
I'm not
the
sold on the
previous
Arkham Knights
Arkham Knight
game
game,
yet.
bro.
I'm not sold on the Arkham Knights game yet. That
I
one,
never liked him.
the
I like
Batman, no, the Batman last Batman game was hard. Nah, that shit was hard.
I
What was it, Dallas? Remember?
I can't remember the
But
title.
that last Batman game was hard. But the Arkham Knights one, I ain't sold on that one yet. So we'll see.
It
What
looked
there was something else that dropped, right? Wasn't there one other thing?
yeah, well, they
did
talked
they t-
about Black Adam. They ain't show like the
Oh
trailer that
yeah,
I thought they were gonna show, but that's what
yeah.
I'm waiting on too because I like Black Adam.
yeah.
I want to see the Flash Paradox movie that they're supposed to be
Yeah,
making.
Flashpoint.
I
I want to see
I, I
all
did.
that.
I want to see that because they've been flirting with that paradox within the animation movies for the last 2 years. Like I don't know if you guys watch the DC
Yep.
animation movies as well, but
Mhm.
like they ever since the Flashpoint, every single movie is kind of like tied back to that. So they've been flirting with it forever, and I heard that your boy Michael Keaton is supposed to come back to play the old
Wow.
Yeah,
Batman.
he's coming
Batman,
back to play
yeah,
And
I heard of
Batman.
that
yeah,
one too.
I
Yeah,
heard yeah. So
They
I
said
was
that
like,
they're
oh,
doing they said that they're doing different the DC universe with like he's like different times like different timelines and stuff where they're even gonna have Ben Affleck make his suit or something like that and then have
yeah.
what's his name Michael Keaton come back and in an alternate universe. So
Right.
I think it's gonna be dope. Also as well, damn, it was something I was just thinking about. Oh well, Anwar's over here so checked out right now. We haven't really
Yes.
gotten
Fuck
nothing
y'all,
out from
DC
him.
World. Big ass kids.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that I just wanted to give a quick rundown of DC Universe, man. The DC fandom that had just dropped out. It was a lot of good stuff that dropped over this past weekend. So if you're a movie nerd like me and depressed because you haven't been to the movies like me, you probably felt a little bit better if you would have saw
and
all that stuff that
get
dropped
some AMC stock too.
for real,
Oh yeah. About to jump the
Because
fuck
next
back
year
up.
you gonna bubble next year.
Yeah.
for
It's
real.
down right
It,
now, but
That
ooh,
shit
next
dumb
year.
low.
it's funny. I feel like opposite. I feel like it's a dying industry.
You think it's
I
over?
feel like yeah. Now with smart TVs being so cheap, and people connecting to the Wi-Fi. I feel like Amazon Prime, a lot of movies are gonna go geared towards where you just rent it in your house
I
instead of
mean, they got that
just cutting
now.
out the middleman.
Nah, the
I
movies is
mean,
still
Yeah,
something people
and
do.
not
that's
with
to
true.
your
not with
point,
new releases.
Teddy, to your point, Disney was supposed to drop Mulan in theaters.
Hmm.
That's instead of going to theaters, it's going straight to Disney Plus now. So everybody has their own
Yeah.
platform to where it could go straight to. I'm, also want to give a shout out to the movie Tenet, which is supposed to be coming out in theaters. I hope that don't go straight to the theaters because I can low key want to see it in theaters. I think it's supposed to come out next week
And
sometime.
that's my point. You got some
Exactly.
people that miss going out.
Yeah, I
Facts.
miss
Yep.
because that's
Love to
really the
hang
only
out.
time I really go out the house is
Yep.
go to the
Or
movies.
you want to see those action movies, in a big space. I don't care how big your TV is. It doesn't beat the
Yeah.
fucking theaters and the sound and the 3D and all of the idea.
It's
Plus,
just
like you said,
it's just the environment, man.
it's
It's just the
still
fun play of the theater.
exactly. It's a vibe. It's an event. Take your girl to a movie. Take someone to a movie. Take your child to a movie. It's beside the point of it being streamed. I mean, we can do that at home, but the point is, like you said, get out the house. Especially when the world so
Two,
called opens back up. That's one of
because
the
it's
first
like
things they're gonna do.
two different types of people, man. To Teddy's point, man, like if you got a family and a kid movie come out, you know damn well if you go to a theater, you're gonna spend about $200, and
Mhm.
that's just on the that's
Yeah.
just in concessions. The
and, te-
tickets is
and
like another 150.
and
Mhm.
Teddy
Yeah,
got Teddy
If
got a
they
little one
sell
on
the
the way,
movie
so he
at
got
the
to take that
house,
in
you can sit
consideration.
all the kids in the living room,
right.
and you can watch. All the kids can watch it for $20.
Yeah.
So
Um,
And you make your own snacks.
for
I,
real.
I'm
right,
I'm seeing
right,
I'm
right.
seeing a lot of people, man. I'm telling you, I'm
Mhm.
seeing a lot of people rethinking the whole. Because like even when we go back to open up, I want your thoughts on this, guys. But like with bowling, right? I used to
Mhm.
love bowling.
Yeah.
Now after COVID and how things spread and germs, I'm just like, dang, that was a
Yeah.
disgusting hobby that I was having
Bruh.
out
You
there.
put three fingers in
Nah,
nastier holes.
but
Hush,
you got to think.
Teddy.
You got to think though.
Ah.
You got to think though. I mean, somebody had said something the other day was like, "Can you believe how recklessly we used to live? Like we used to go to
Yeah.
birthday parties and eat cake after somebody blew out the candles."
Facts. Yeah.
Right.
Shoot. No, my
That's
wife
like
made a
Think
good
about that
point.
shit. Think about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My wife says it all the
Little
time. She says,
things.
if nothing else, COVID has taught us to do what we should have been doing before, which is clean behind ourselves, wash our ass, wash our hands regularly. No one does the 6 times a day hand wash that technically you should do. The once before eating, once after, this in between, none of that. So if nothing else, COVID has taught us or is teaching us, be clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I
Got
do
hand
want to.
sanitizer everywhere.
I do want to go
The
ahead,
only
man.
thing, the only thing different I'm doing is washing my hands
Yeah.
every other hour, like a madman or something like that. That's the
Yeah.
only. Everything else is just the same. Like
Yeah.
be clean, bro.
To be honest with you, I blame white people. I feel like some white people didn't wash their hands. They
Shit.
don't wash their hands. They came from
Facts,
China.
facts, 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 facts,
Was
facts.
getting
Facts.
their ass ate up.
Facts,
Had
facts,
their
facts,
fingers
facts,
in
facts,
somebody's
facts.
ass and shit, and didn't wash their hands. Got on a flight, came over here and brought the shit.
Brought the COVID over.
I be putting them on blast, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Man.
Whoever it is, if I see
Yeah.
you and I go outside, I be like, dang, you see that dude ain't wash his
Yeah.
hands.
My co-manager used to do that all the fucking time, and then had the nerve to always have his hands in his pants, like for real. In
Oh.
meetings, he would be scratching and shit. It'd be the nastiest thing. I promise you, bro. Just that face you making, Dallas. That's us in a meeting. Like, bro, really? So,
So-
I got bit by a mosquito. Yeah, what the fuck ever.
So, since we're talking about movies real quick, I want to talk about some of these streaming movies and stuff that kind of went straight to Netflix. I just went straight to streaming during this quarantine, man. There's a movie. It's called Tax Collector. It got Shia LaBeouf from Transformers in it.
Man, I heard that shit was hard.
That shit hard as fuck, bro. It's kind of weird because Shia LaBeouf is playing a Mexican guy, but the movie itself, though, that shit hard as fuck, man. So I suggest, if you're a movie buff like me, if you want to go out,
Yeah.
watch that, please go
Hey,
check
what
out.
is on?
That's on Netflix.
No, Tax Collector was actually one of those direct to stream. I think I saw it on my
Yeah.
TV, and I kind of like paid to rent.
I seen
paid
the,
$3 to rent it.
The picture on my little,
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
yeah, my
Yeah.
my cinema thing. I didn't even open it to see
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was.
Actually, I think I watched it on cinema. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying. I wasn't trying to put my information out there.
Yeah,
so the
you got
feds won't come
cinema,
knocking on my
motherfucker.
door. but
Y'all be
Yeah.
careful. Y'all gonna see watching
but
the movie.
Hey,
Niggas ain't
Project
supporting over here.
You
Project.
gonna see my dog watching the movie because I ain't gonna lie.
we already been seeing a nigga in a
Bump,
movie
man, bump y'all,
or a
bro.
I
show
know,
or
that's-
something.
That's what I'm. That was my point.
Oh.
Like, that's twice that I'm just watching something randomly and I see watch.
What was it that you had
Um,
sent me? I forgot what it was.
You already know,
It
nigga.
was,
The
you was suited up in the one, and then it was the strip club. Movie.
Survivor's Remorse.
It was Survivors. No, it was something else
Survivor's
that he
Remorse.
had sent me for a
And then there
movie.
was another.
It was
no,
an actual
it was a
movie.
though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
actual
because you
movie.
was suited up, clapping in the crowd. We were looking like,
Hell no.
like watch somebody that looked like what?
Oh, was it Jason Lyrics? No, not it was Jason's
Ah,
Ladders
no.
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yeah,
can't
something like
remember,
that.
but
Anyways, because I forgot I
it
even
was right
did that
before a
shit.
fight
Watch
scene
you
or
be
something
in
like
movies,
that.
bro.
I used to do some
Been
extra work
everything.
on the side. Anwar tried to do it, but the
Try to
only
do
only
it.
job that the only job that he got was playing a dead body.
Here you go. This nigga, you remember that dumb shit? I did play a dead body
Oh,
too. I had to hold my breath a whole scene. I'm like, bitch, I ain't no fucking fish. Shout out to
hey,
the
bro,
corpse over there.
what was
He's
this?
doing a great job, bitch. Show my
What is this?
face.
What
Jacob's
show
ladder.
was this?
Jacob's ladder.
Containment or
Yeah, it was containment. It was
containment.
containment. It was containment.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
a
I gotta
series
look back and
containment.
watch it
Yeah.
Yeah,
now.
man. But
I'm gonna look for a dead body.
I know that tattoo. That's
Yeah.
Anwar.
Dead ass arm with makeup all on it. Bitch, put my face in the picture, motherfucker. Shit.
But some other movies that I had saw on Netflix, man. Old Guard. That shit hard as hell. I don't know if
Oh,
you
that
saw
shit
that.
was good,
Yeah.
bro. I watched that shit. It looked like they gonna make a part two of
Yeah,
that shit.
because they set up the black girl to take on the lead role for that joint, bro. That shit
That
look
shit
hard.
it's different. It's
Yeah.
different, but it's pretty
It's
cool.
it's like Immortality. You have y'all, any of y'all seen it outside of Anwar?
It got
Yeah, I
Charlize in
saw
there,
it.
Yeah,
right?
that shit hard. Yeah,
Charlize, whatever her name
yeah.
is.
But and then also Project Power, Jamie Foxx in the
I was
movie.
just about to say Project Power,
Man.
man.
Shout out to Jamie Foxx, bro. He did his thing in
For
that
real,
man.
I
That
need
was
to
a
look
dope
up a
movie,
trailer
bro.
for that. It's a
Um,
movie
it-
or show.
It's a movie, man. It actually
movie.
stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He also was in The Dark Knight Rises.
Why that
Yeah, he
sounds
was
so
in The Dark Knight
familiar.
Rises.
Yeah.
The dude, he was like the dude that was playing Dick Grayson, the cat that was following Batman around all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And there's also was this little girl named
Oh, what are you talking about?
Dominique Fishback. She was doing her freestyles in that movie.
Fishback, bitch.
And
Change
bro,
your
she was
name.
killing. She was killing. No, it's a young little kid, man. Don't kill this
Fishback.
girl. But she was killing, man. She did a great job with her acting, man. I want to just give her a shout out.
Shout out to
Um,
Fishback.
But Netflix has been dropping a lot of good stuff. Hulu has been even dropping some good stuff. Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I don't even use that shit for the most part.
Well, you know I use
with
that
the
shit
with the
all
exception
day.
of the Mandalorian that's supposed to be dropping. Bad Boys, not Bad Boys. Is it Bad Boys season 2?
I don't know Disney Plus.
No, Bad on Amazon. On Amazon.
Yeah, they are Amazon.
Yeah.
Is it Bad Boys?
Yeah.
On Amazon.
Bad Boys season 2.
I didn't mess around and bought it. So
You bought it.
Oh.
This shit ain't dropped yet.
Bad Boy, you talking about the Bad Boys 3?
No. I'm talking about the Bad Boys. I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's on Amazon.
You know what I'm talking about?
Them kids?
Yeah. No, it's the superhero joint.
Oh,
That ain't
no.
came out yet though.
Yeah, season 2 is supposed to be dropping
Oh.
soon.
Are you talking about The
The
Boys?
Boys.
The
On
Boys,
Amazon?
The Boys.
The
That's the name of it.
Boys.
The
Okay.
Boys. The Boys is on. If you haven't seen season 1, check out season 1.
How
And
many
season 2 's
seasons?
supposed to drop.
Okay,
It's
well,
on the 2.
Good,
Season
I can
2
watch
about to
that.
drop, yeah.
Trust me, it's worth it, bro.
The Boys.
It's worth it. The Boys. Yeah, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to give a shout out to real quick?
Yeah. How about your
Go ahead,
wives? How about that, men?
Mine just walked in.
Donna, shout out to the wife of the Dizzle.
This nigga. Well, shout out to y'all wives. Fuck y'all.
Single ass boy.
Fuck y'all. Now you got me feeling over. Now you got me in my feelings over here. You know.
Nah.
Shout out to Teddy, man. He expecting his little one in the next couple weeks, man. So yeah, man. Dallas is due for
Got a
his.
little thing on the couch,
Facts.
like on the other side of the camera.
Dallas is due for his in probably another year or so.
I
I'm
know,
expecting
facts,
him to
facts.
have a little DI walking around his bed.
I got to give 3 shout outs. 3 shout outs before we do it. One shout out is to Teddy's lace front beard. Don't think we know, bro. That beard is a little too clean to be real. Shout out to Teddy's lace front beard. That bitch extra clean and crisp. The other 2 shout outs is one to Dallas Tank Top. I got to do it again. Shout out to that wrestling tank. Make me want to just go WWF looking at it. Oh, there it is. And shout out to that little Superman curl in the top middle of your head too. I see that one dropping. Shout out to both of those things.
This nigga.
Facts.
Well, let's go ahead and run this thing down and wrap this thing up, man. Di, man, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
Find me on IG, old.dally.dal, Facebook, Dallas Harris, Open Bar Radio on IG. Shout out Ronnie, Chrissy, and Kiosha.
Yes,
DJ
sir.
Yes, sir. Teddy P, run it down. Teddy Dub.
You can find me at that guy Teddy on Instagram. Not really a social media guy, but be on the lookout for Young King. Be in your stores coming soon. Actually, got some big news coming out that way, and also Young King, Young Queen, where we will be on Amazon and other publishing networks. So
Dope.
be on the lookout for the children's books.
Yes, sir. Two, run it.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Those are some huge things. Shout out to you, Teddy, for the little one. Shout out to the book. We ain't put enough light on that, but that's a big deal. And I just want to let you know, as a brother, I'm proud to see my brothers doing things like that, man. That is very huge, and I
Question:
appreciate hearing that.
Are you a best-selling author like everyone
I know,
else?
right? 1 week later, he bestseller.
I wish.
Everybody in their damn mama,
New York Times, yeah.
bestseller.
I don't even get how those lists work. I'm like, how?
I know, bruh.
Got best
Come
sellers,
on.
who are you selling
Big
to?
facts.
But I'm in 7 schools, public
Okay.
schools,
Hey,
one
that's big,
one
though, bro.
library, over 1,000 books sold within a year. So
Okay.
hey, we selling at the Trump
Hey.
right now, but definitely
Hey.
the new book will be
Hey,
under a publisher. So
gotta
looking forward to it.
gotta start like P and end like P. You know what I mean? I make them
Mhm.
Hey,
say,
so as long as they move, as long as they move, and that's the Trump.
Two, run it.
Definitely. All right, y'all. Y'all know this is your boy too, Anwar. Y'all can find me on Instagram at AnwarW_357. That's ANWARW_357. Watts.
Give
Yes,
him your
sir. Yes,
OnlyFans
sir.
too, man.
Huh?
What's that?
Anwar, give him your OnlyFans too.
My OnlyFans. Oh, you can find my OnlyFans with tasteful nudes
Hey.
at.
I want to get back into the
Oh,
OnlyFans
we
conversation
need
because
to
I
come
seen
back to
some
that,
other shit
bruh.
that just dropped this past week.
Shout
but
out to my
anyways.
OnlyFans where you can see tasteful nudes of me working out in the very light nude. Anyway,
This is a business.
it's a business. Watts.
Yeah, man, you already know who it is. It's your boy Watts. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Watts4. That is WATTS4. And you can hit up the Locker Room Banter podcast crew on Instagram and Twitter at LRBANTER407. That's the Locker Room Banter 407. And you can hit up the Locker Room Banter podcast show on Facebook at the Locker Room Banter podcast show
Yes.
from the Locker Room Banter podcast crew.
We
Yo.
out. Thank you, fellas.
Said home.
Appreciate you, brother.
Listen twice.
Yes, sir.